Hope I'm audible to everybody. Okay. Can somebody confirm if you can hear me, please?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you, Sada. Do one thing. Today we start off in this way because see this particularly one different way we start off. I think this is for the reason that whatever you learn or whatever you learn anywhere, whether with me or at your college, you should be able to practically implement it. Otherwise, all this learning is of just no use. It is all trash. You listen to some story, I tell you some story, tomorrow is Sunday, when you sleep and get up, you forget it. No, please do one thing. I'll give you maybe say 15 minutes time from now till 8:15. In this 15 minutes, please write a code for a blockchain, for creating a blockchain. After you write the code, click a pic of that code and email it to me. Email it to me after you write the code of a blockchain, but in the mail, in the sheet of paper on which you write, please write your name and your registration number, and you will be graded for this, what you have done. Once again, please do one thing. Write a Python code to create a blockchain so that I'm able to grade you for whatever you have done. And for this, you'll be given just 15 minutes time. Write it, but for a change, what you either you write it on Jupyter Notebook. On top, you can write it as a comment, your name as well as your enrollment number. But don't save it as a IPYNB file. Please save it as a PY file and mail it to me. You right away, please do it. For the reason that whatever we are saying, it should at least be grasped by you. Otherwise, this is of no use what we are doing. So kindly, you can start off in next 15 minutes. Do it, mail it to me at my mail ID. All this is
Sir, can you repeat the question once again?
Okay, I said, please write a code to create a blockchain in Python and save it as a PY file, mail it to me with your name and enrollment number written on top. Either you write it with your hand, click a pick and send, or write it in Jupyter Notebook. But please mail it to me by 8:15 today. This is for the reason that last few days of my interaction with you, I find that you are not able to practically implement it. Then what is the use of doing this? Unless you are able to practically implement it, all these things what we are doing is of just no use. So kindly do one thing, write the code, mail me the code in next 15 minutes, please. You'll be graded for this. Hotmail, send it at my Hotmail ID. Today itself, I shall grade you before I go to bed, or worst come worst in the morning tomorrow. Because I've got some meetings after this, maybe today or definitely by morning tomorrow. Not a minute beyond 8:15. And any mail which I get after 8:15, I am not going to evaluate it.
Sir, you were taking meetings on GeoMeet. Now you switched to WebEx. Any problem, sir, with that platform?
No, that is my wish. I can take in anything.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Fine, sir. Fine.
Fine. Nothing, sir. WebEx, you are doing on WebEx. Can you just please record this session, sir?
Already started recording, sir. I'll share the recording. End of it. What I'll do, it would take maybe 1 or 2 hours. I shall share the link from which you can download. I'll put it on the canvas, sir.
I'll download.
Yes,
sir. What about the last week classes? I don't think so. We have it. We are doing on Geo meeting.
So no, we did on Geo. I had asked the participants who were there. Nobody had the facility to record it. That's why nothing could be done.
All right. Okay. Sir. Thank you very much.
Sir, right away, right from this, this session, we are back on WebEx. I'll record all the session, put the link on Canvas.
All right. Okay, sir. Thanks very much. I'll download it as soon as possible. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for calling.
Right.
Thank you.
Sir, do we need to mail .py file or
yes, py.
Okay, sir.
Saida, can you hear me?
Yes,
Saida,
sir.
can you hear? Okay, I want you and your team who are with me for this project, although we are already doing it, not for any reason, just because seeing your drive, I want you guys to join back this or the next project which I'm doing for Democratic Republic of Congo, which is in the education sector, AI solution. I want you to join, do it for us. So you get few days for you to learn and then join back. Will that be comfortable for you and your team, Saida?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, the last just 4 more minutes.
So I have sent you mail. Can you just check once?
I'll check it later, don't worry. Do you in your college have as part of your syllabus anything on robotics? In any semester, any course, any stream, anything?
Only machine learning.
Only machine learning. And does machine learning even cover deep learning or only machine learning?
Only machine learning.
Okay. So I feel it is high time that Osmania University has to change. But that's not a problem. Please, you can, before you leave the college after your 8th semester, put in a word to your chairman that you can follow the model what the government of Kerala is following, where for your starting from 3rd semester, you have one subject as a skill-based subject for which no permission has to be taken from anybody. You have a skill-based subject which will be on the topic of which is in trend in the industry. So right from 3rd semester till 8th semester, you will keep learning it so that you are in trend with what is going on. Small little thing is whatever you learn in college, putting it into practice, developing practical codes, making programs work, which is a different skill set. So for all that, you will know how do you create programs, how do you make things work.
So earlier you said once that if anyone is wanting to take blockchain in Bitcoin, he wants to do mining, you will be helping him.
Yeah, we will see it at the end of this course. Don't worry.
Okay. Sir.
Okay, last few more seconds for you to mail me. Anything which comes after 8:15 of my clock, definitely the out of 20, the marks which is it gets halved, divided by 2. So you'll be graded just for half the mark. Anything after 8:15. So quickly, whatever you written, you can just mail it to me as a PY file.
Very not audible voice.
Sorry, I didn't get you, Tuba. Yeah, okay. Back again. Can you guys hear me now? I think I should be audible to everybody. Tell me, please.
Yes, sir, you're
Can
audible.
someone? Okay. What we will do, we will come back to what we were doing the last session. In the last session, if you remember, we created a simple blockchain using this asyncio library. So we will once again create it because we didn't do the full thing. We will once again create the blockchain using the asyncio library and then take off from thereafter. So if using this asyncio library, I shall request you, you guys start off. I'll also join you to write this code. What I need to do, I need to first import asyncio. Then I also need to import JSON. I also need to import math. I also need to import random. Then what else? Since these are the only libraries as of now, let's just execute and see it's fine. Then what I do, I say from hashlib, let's import SHA256 and from time we shall import time. Then what we need to do, then I need to import even the struct log. So I'll import struct log. Let me try this, should not be a problem. Okay, there's a spelling mistake. Okay, perfect. Now what I do, I create a logger by the name of blockchain, and thereafter we create a class and then a block, and then keep adding blocks and close up the blockchain. So initially what I do, I shall say logger equal to struct log dot get logger. We shall say let this be blockchain. And since this is the logger I'm creating, fine. Now what I do, I create a class by the name of blockchain, which will be the object of this. And then I would say define underscore underscore init underscore underscore of self, make this conditional. We shall say self dot chain, which would be an empty set. Then I will say self dot pending underscore transactions is once again this. Then we set a target value. Then I say self dot target. This I shall say, let me say 0000 and lot of f, lot of f. Makes no difference how many, but let it be a huge number of f values. Huge number of f values, so that, yeah, this should be good enough. Now this, let's execute this. Perfect. Now what I do, I create a genesis block. So to create a genesis block, what do we say? We say I shall continue it with this itself, logger dot info. I shall say creating genesis block. Thereafter what we do, we create a chain. We'll append this to the chain. So what I shall say, self dot chain dot append of self dot new underscore block. Let's try this. Should not give me trouble. Yeah, fine. Now what we do, we now define a new block and create a new block. So to define a new block, what do? We say define new underscore block of this self. We make it conditional. We say block equal to self dot create underscore block. I shall say the height of this block will be the length of this chain. So I say this will be the length of self dot chain. And what else shall we say? We shall even say the transactions. Transactions will be self dot pending underscore transactions. And also I shall be required to define my previous hash, which I shall say is self dot last underscore block of my hash. And this I shall say that if self dot last underscore block, else none. And then we shall say, then I need to specify my nonce. Nonce will be nothing but the format of random dot get ran bits of 64. And I shall say I take this variable x. Then I will also have to specify what is my target, which is nothing but self dot target. And what else is left? My timestamp. I say my timestamp is time. And then I close my bracket. Let me just try this. Fine. Now, after this, after I create my new block, what do I need to do? I need to create a static method of creating a block, not a new block, creating a block using the static method. So once again, I shall say define create underscore block of height transactions previous hash. What else do I take? I take the nonce, nonce, and then the target and timestamp, which I say as none. Close my this thing, make this conditional. Then block is this, yeah, block is within the block. What do I need to say? I need to specify my height, my transactions, my nonce, my previous hash, my timestamp, my target. So we start off with height, which I say is nothing but the height which we have declared. Then what do? I specify my transactions, which I say is nothing but my transactions. Then I also specify my previous hash, which is nothing but my previous hash. Then what do? Let's specify a nonce, which is nothing but my nonce. Then also I specify my target, which is nothing but my target. And lastly, let me specify my timestamp. Timestamp, which is nothing but, let me say, is time, and close my curly braces. Let's try this. Wonderful. Now, after creating a block using the static method, I have to get the hash of this new block and add it to the block. So if I have to get the hash of this block and add it to the block, what do? Let's continue here itself. I shall say my block underscore string will be JSON dot terms of block, and I say my sort keys, which I say as true, and this I would say dot encode. And then we have to say our block of hash. This is nothing but SHA-256 of the block underscore strings, and we shall say hex digest. And lastly, I need to also return my block. That's it. Let's try this. Fine, no error. Now after this, what do? I have to, using the static method, I have to also define the hash of the block. So for which, what I shall do, I shall say define hash of the block, which we make it conditional. Here we need to ensure the directory is sorted, or what will happen, we will have inconsistent hashes. That is, if you don't ensure that the directory is sorted, we definitely will have inconsistent hashes. So what do we say? We say block underscore string is nothing but JSON dot dumps of my block, and I say sort keys. This I specify as true, and this would be dot encode. And we shall return SHA-256 of the block underscore string, and definitely the hex digest of this. That's it. This will help me create the hash of the block. Run this. Fine. Now what we need, we have created the block, we have created the new block, we have created the hash of the block. Lastly, what we need to do, we need to even create the last block. So when I create the last block, I shall define it as a function. I say define hash of block, last block of the self define last underscore block of this self, make this conditional. We shall now return the last block in the chain if there are blocks. That is, we will return the last block in the chain if there are blocks. So what do I, this tells us what should we be writing? We have to say return self dot chain of -1, and I'll say if self dot chain else none. This will help me define my last block, execute, and perfect. Now what else I need to do? We have created the block, we have created the hash of the block, we also have created the last block. Now we definitely need to validate the block. That is, we need to check if a block's hash is less than the target value. We have to check if the block's hash is less than the target value. And that becomes the that means the block is validated. So what we do, we shall say define valid underscore block of self and block, make it conditional. We shall say return block of hash, and we have to say that this is less than self dot target. This will help us validate the hash block. So till this 12 of mine, have you guys written it, or you want some time to write it?
So 1 minute.
Yeah. All of Saida, I have got a plan for all of you guys. See what we will do. The next session, if you guys are free, we will have it on Sunday in the afternoon. There is some particular reason why I told Sunday in the afternoon, not tomorrow. We will not have it tomorrow. We'll have it on Sunday in the afternoon. And for a change, what we will do, we will solve a practical problem using Python. And a industry problem, we will take a problem, I'll even tell you how do you get the data right from data collection on how do you solve the problem, so that you at least for whatever you have learned in Python, you have learned in your college, you know how to put it into action. How do you develop a program? What is the trick of developing a program? Is that fine or not, Saida?
That will be wonderful, sir.
Okay, we will have it on this Sunday. Sunday in the afternoon, maybe around to 2 o'clock or so, we shall meet up. We will have that session instead of this blockchain. So one of the days we will forego this blockchain. We will do that, because what I really feel is, as of now, you definitely, all of you would be having knowledge. You don't know how to put it into action. We shall help you on Sunday. Just one of the program we shall do. One of this, anyone practical problem we take, we do it, we solve it. I'll tell you what is the trick of solving it. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can tell me whenever you finish this up till this 12 of mine, that is defining this valid block.
Yes, sir, done.
Okay, now what we need to do, we need to see, we have done till validating the block. We will write a small little function to add a block. See, till we have created the block, we have created a new block. We have not added the block. We have created the block, but we have not added it. So we define add underscore block of self and block. Make this conditional, and we say self dot chain dot append of the block. Now this will help us add a block. Now what we need to do, we need to, at this point, we need to recalculate the target. That is, we need to return the number. We need to get below some particular number to mine a block. So if you want to return a number, that is, you need to get below some number to mine a block, you have to recalculate the target value. You have to recalculate target of self and block underscore index. We shall say we need to check if you need to recalculate the target or not. I'll use the modulo function. So I say if block underscore index modulo 10, if this is 0, I'll say the expected time span of 10 blocks. That's why I've taken 10. So I specify the expected time span of 10 times 10. And now I need to calculate the actual time span. So I say my actual time span is self dot chain of -1, and I also say it is the timestamp, and this will be the timestamp minus self dot chain of this -10, and definitely the timestamp. Now what I need to do, I need to figure out what this offset is. So if at all there is an offset, I need to figure it out. So I say ratio is actual underscore time span divided by expected underscore time span. So this becomes my ratio. Now what we need to do, we need to adjust the ratio to not be too extreme. It cannot be too extreme. So what I say, we shall say this ratio will be max of 25%, that is 0.25, and ratio, and this ratio, I shall also say that this will be the minimum of 4 and ratio. Now I need to calculate the new target just by multiplying the current one by the ratio. I will calculate the new target by multiplying the current one by the ratio. So for which what I shall do, I shall say my new target, this get 16, and I multiply this by the ratio. Now also I will need to say self dot target. This I am going to format it basically using the floor value of new target. So I shall say this will be math dot floor of new target. As well, I shall take that X which we had taken earlier, and I give a zfill to this. So I say zfill of 64. Now, once again, I need to call back my logger function. So I say logger dot info. It would be, I shall take the F string. I shall say calculated new mining target, and this will be nothing but self dot target, and I give an inverted comma here. That's it. This will give me my logger info, and I need to definitely return back my target. So I say return self dot target. Let's execute this. Fine. No problem till here. Now I also have to call the async library for what? Basically to get the blocks after timestamp. So I will call the async library to get the blocks after the timestamp, for which what I shall say, I shall what shall we do? 1 second. Okay. I say my async defined get underscore blocks after timestamp, of self and timestamp. I shall say for index, comma, block in enumerate of this self dot chain, and I will say if the timestamp is less than block of timestamp, what I shall do, we shall return the self dot chain of the index value. I take an instance of this index. So I say index colon. Let me try this. Perfect. Now what I do, I will use this async library to define when we mine a new block. So for which what I need to say, I shall say async define mine underscore new underscore block of self. We shall say self dot recalculate underscore target of self dot last underscore block of index. This will be index plus 1. I'm incrementing the index. Okay, now what I say, I'll say while this thing is true, we have to make this conditional. I say my new block is self dot new underscore block, and I shall say I shall also be required to say if this self dot valid underscore block of the new block, I'll say break. That's it. And I have to wait for this asynchrone to sleep. So I say wait asynchrone dot sleep of 0. And then I need to append the new block. So what I shall say now, I shall say self dot chain dot append of this new block. Let's try this. Wonderful, no error. Now I also have to basically, the logger has to tell you that it has found a new block. So let's just add one last line. I'll say logger dot info found a new block, which will be nothing but new underscore block. That's it. Execute. Perfect. No error. You may write this and please let me know if you're completed. We shall go ahead. One more small little suggestion to all you interested guys. See, please do one thing in whichever semester you are, before you finish the course, try filing at least one patent. Friends, believe me, you will be taken out of the crowd. Otherwise, there are lakhs and millions of engineers in this country. Even the person who delivers milk in my house is BE MBA. There is no job. If there is job only, you're going to do. Unless otherwise you want to do marketing. Marketing, you don't have to do engineering. 10th, 6th standard is more than enough. Stand without a chappal somewhere and you start selling things. That is not no fun in that. So please do one thing. Try filing a patent on your name. Few of you group up together, file a patent on your name. Definitely it will do wonders for you when you step out of your college. So who volunteers to file a patent in the next 1 or 2 months? My full support to you. Don't worry. Wherever you get stuck, you can revert back. I shall help you out. So who amongst you guys are going to at least try filing a patent? Anybody?
Inshallah, me, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, please try doing it. It will be good for you. Really, really good for you. 4-5 of you get together, file a patent. Let me know after you're done this, please.
Done, sir.
That okay. Somebody else also let me know.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. See, one of the most important module in blockchain is what is called as a peers module. PEERS, peers module. And what it does, it represents the logic surrounding the sending and receiving of messages in your P2P network, peer-to-peer network. We said, see, one of the most important modules in a blockchain is the peers module, which represent the logic surrounding the sending and receiving of messages in the peer-to-peer network. So what we will do, we'll stub out the methods using this peers.py. Let's create a file called peers.py, and they're going to be pretty simple. So when you create this peers.py, how do we go into this? I'll just write the backbone of this on how do we do this, and subsequently we will write the complete program where I will ask for your involvement also. So definitely when I create this peers, I say something peers, I have to create a class. I say class P2P of error, and I say of my exception. Make it conditional, I say pass. After that, I have to, when I have specified my exception, I have to specify my protocol also. So what do? I say class P2P protocol, make it conditional. I say define underscore underscore init underscore underscore of self and server. Make this conditional and write few statements after that. I should put dot dot dot, write some more statements. Thereafter, what you need to do, you need to specify your static method, for which it's only the asynchronous library will be of great help to you guys. So what we do, we write this async define send underscore message of writer and message. And what we will do here, then this would send a message to a particular peer, and whatever we write, whatever lines we want over here. Then after I have defined the send message, what else do I need to do? I need an asynchronous library to handle these messages. So what I shall do, I shall say async defined handle underscore message of this self and message and writer. Make this conditional. See this, what it will do, it will handle an incoming message passed by the server, and this hands this message off to a more specific method. It hands over this to a very wonderful and specific method. I shall just put some dots. Whatever we want we can write. Now this handle which we have created, it has to, you have to ping the handle. This handle has to also handle the blocks, it has to handle the transaction, it has to also handle the peers. So how should it do? What should be the syntax for that? We shall say async define handle underscore ping of this self and message and writer. And we this thereafter what we'll do, we will handle the incoming ping message. So whatever the syntax you want, you write it over here. After this, what this handle has to do, it has to even handle the block in the blockchain. So definitely I have to call async define handle underscore block of self message and writer. Make this conditional. Now what we will do here, we will handle the incoming block message. So whatever it is, I put some dots for this. Whatever you want you can write. I have to also handle the transaction and the peers. That should be good enough for us. So now next what do? We handle the transactions. So I say async define handle transaction of the self message and writer. Make this conditional. We will handle all the incoming transaction messages. I shall put some dots for this also. Now lastly, what I need to do, I need to handle the peers. So definitely for that also I need to call this async define handle peers of this self message and writer. And now we will handle the incoming peer messages used with this. Whatever we want, we write over here. Now what we need to do, we will need an error class that we can use to catch for problems from importing the code. So the comments in the each method, what we have written here, explain the code that we need to implement. And the most important method over here is the handle message method. And definitely it is the most important method, which is this handle message over here. See, this means all messages sent in our P2P network share the same structure, where you'll have a message, you'll have a name, you'll have a payload of the message. And the meta key contains information about the peer sending the message. And while the message key contains the name and payload of the message being sent. So what we will do, as an example, we will implement 4 messages. And the first message name, let's give it a name of ping, P-I-N-G, ping. And what does this ping do? The initial message that a node sends to a peer while initiating a connection. And the next message, we give it transaction, which is nothing but a single transaction that propagates from peer to peer. The third message, we'll give it a name of peers, which is nothing but a bunch of addresses that a peer may or may not know about to build their network. And lastly, the message name, we give it as a block, which is a single block, which is perhaps recently mined for a peer to add to their blockchain. So the 4 message names which we give are ping, transaction, peers, and block. So what we will do, before we talk about what these messages look like, we will complete this peers.py, which I just mentioned sometime, by using some given methods. So to generate this peers.py, what do we do in Python? Some small little code we need to write for that. Can anybody tell me which all libraries should I be importing for this to develop this peers.py? Please don't be passive listeners. You'll have to also participate. And definitely the same thing when we write a practical code on Sunday, definitely I'll want you all guys also to pitch in, you guys also to tell me what to do next and next and next. So for this peers.py, I have to import async queue, and then I also have to import struct log. And then see, there is a game called FunCoin. We will implement all these things in that FunCoin game. So I say from FunCoin dot messages, we shall import what we will do. We will first create peers message, create block message. What else I need to do? We need to create transaction and ping message, which we had spoken of the 4 message sometime back. So I say create transaction message, and lastly we will create ping message and close my bracket. That's it. Now what I need to do immediately after this, I need to validate the transaction. So in order to validate the transaction, what shall I be doing? I shall say from FunCoin dot transactions, we shall import validate underscore transaction, and then I specify my logger, which I say struct log dot get logger of this underscore name underscore. Let's try this. Oh, from no module. Okay, fine. Presume that we have a module called FunCoin. Okay, let's see if I'm able to import. See, FunCoin is a program. Pip install FunCoin. No, there is, see, FunCoin is a program that we create. Don't worry. You just consider that we have got a FunCoin, no problem. Ignore this message. Just ignore this error message, what I'm getting in 17 of mine. Let's presume that we have got a program called FunCoin. We are using that. Don't worry. It will not be of any problem for you guys. Done? If you're done till here, let me know.
Yes, sir, done.
Okay, so we have specified a logger, and after this, what we need to do, we need to specify a class of this peer-to-peer transaction. So I say class of P2P error and exception. Make this conditional, and we say pass. Also, along with this, we need to specify this P2P protocol. So I say class P2P protocol, wherein we define the same underscore init underscore of the self and server. We make this conditional, and we no, sorry, we make this conditional. Then we say self dot server is server, and this self dot blockchain is server dot blockchain, and self dot connection underscore pool is server dot connection underscore pool. And after this, what we do, once again, we create a static method where we call this async and send the message. And also thereafter, we will handle this message. So what I'll do when I call back my async to send a message, I shall say async define send underscore message of writer and message, make this conditional. We say writer dot write of message dot encode, and then we take it in the go by the next line. So I say b slash n with an inverted comma. Then what we need, since we are defined on to send message, we have to create a function to handle the message. So what we do, we say async define handle underscore message of the self and message and writer, make this conditional. We then define our message handler. We know our message handlers are nothing but the block, ping, peers, and transaction. So we say message underscore handlers, which is nothing but the first one is block, which is self dot handle underscore block, and the next one is ping, which is nothing but self dot handle underscore ping, and the next one is self dot handle underscore peers. And last, what we do, we specify transactions. Transaction singular it is, and we say this is self dot handle underscore transaction, and close my curly brace. Now I need to call my handler basically to handle these messages. So I say
Sir, after
yeah,
that ping, colon should be there, right? Self handle underscore ping before that.
yeah, there is a colon here before self dot handle underscore transaction. Which one are you telling?
The
Which
second
line?
line after the block, ping one.
Yeah, there is a, oh, sorry, there has to be a colon. My mistake. Okay, thank you. So what we do, we now specify the handler, which is nothing but my message underscore handlers dot get all this message and name. That's it. This should create this message handler. Now I also need to say, what if this is not a handler? So what I do, I say if not handler, we have to raise a P2P error. So what we will do, we will raise P2P error saying missing handler for message. Now I have to also, what I need to do, what else have we left out? We have to await the handler. So we say await handler of message and writer. Now also what I need to do, I need to specify the handle for this message, and thereafter what we need to do, let's first specify the handle for this message, handle for this ping. So I will again have to call back my async library. I say async define handle for this ping, which will be nothing but myself and message and writer. We say make it conditional. I say block underscore height. This will be nothing but my message of payload, and I shall be saying of this block underscore height. Now, if they are a minor, what we will do, we'll mark them as such. Anybody, if the person is a minor, we'll just mark them as such. So for which I shall say writer dot is underscore minor is my message of payload, and I also say is underscore minor. Now, what we will do, we will send our 20 most alive peers to this user. We will go by a random number of 20 because it's neither less nor too much. We will just send 20 most alive peers to this user. So what I need to say, I need to say peers is self dot connection underscore pool dot get underscore alive underscore peers of 20. Then what we will say, uh, peers underscore message is nothing but my create underscore peers underscore message of this self dot server dot external underscore IP and self dot server dot external underscore uh, port and what I need to say and my peers. And then what I need to do, I need to oh, 1 second. Did I miss out any bracket anywhere? Yes, and my peers. And yeah, okay. Then I need to await this message. So I say await self dot send underscore message of this writer and peer underscore message. Now what we will do, now we will send them these 20 most alive peers, we'll send them blocks if they have less than our block. So let's specify this condition and send them blocks till, okay, you can complete till here and then tell me, then we shall proceed. So it gives me some time to think over what do we write next.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay. So now after we await this to send this message, we will send them blocks, these 20 most alive peers, if they have less than R blocks. So what we shall do, I shall use a if statement. If block underscore height, I shall say less than self dot blockchain dot last underscore block of the height. This I shall make this condition no make this conditional. I shall say I send them each block in succession from their height. So what we will do, we will send each of these 20 most alive peers blocks in succession from their height. So we say for block in self dot blockchain dot chain. I would here now what I shall say, I shall say this one, my uh, block underscore height, increment this by 1. May I shall say this block, and no this yeah, this what I shall do, I shall take it on top. Yeah. So I say if block in this thing with this block grid up incremented block, make it conditional. I shall await. We will say this self dot send underscore message of what is the message. We will send the writer, and what we shall do, we shall create underscore block underscore message of this self dot server dot external underscore, what did we take earlier, external underscore IP, and this self dot server dot external underscore port and block and the block, and we close this, go close this one, the regular braces. Now I need to also, what is left for me, we have created a ping to handle these blocks. Now we have to even handle the transaction. So for which what I need to do, I need to create another, call this async library and create a handle transaction function. So I say async define handle underscore transaction of the self and message and writer, make this conditional. I shall execute when we receive the transaction that was broadcast by the peer. It is only then I'm going to execute when we receive a transaction that was broadcast by the peer, by any peer. So I say logger dot info of this received transaction, and I shall now validate the transaction, for which I shall say tx equal to message of payload. Now, if the transaction is validated, what happens? We will add the transaction to our pool and propagate it to our peers. So I will be required to write a if statement. I shall say if this thing validate underscore transaction of this tx is true. If this is
Sir, we are not able to hear you.
You are not audible.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
And your screen is dark.
So we lost your connection.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. We are
Yeah.
not able to. Yeah, sir. We actually lost you at self.blockchain dot
Oh,
pending
oh, oh.
understand
What
transactions.
happened?
Your screen got stuck and your voice wasn't audible.
Oh, am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible now.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe this a virtual media, maybe some problem. Okay, I can't say anything. Okay, fine. You can write this till here. Thereafter, I'll continue. Let me just finish this
Your
line. So
voice
that,
is breaking.
is it clear now? Am I clear now? Yes or no?
To
But
me, it's clear, sir.
yeah, but even whoever just now spoke, you are very, very clear. I'm very clearly able to hear you. Maybe the problem with your line. That's the problem. Some are not able to check your speaker, your speaker, if it is switched off or automatically it has gone off. I close this. That's it. You can write till here. You can please write till here and let me know. Amongst you, 6, 7 of you, whoever is present here today, tell me how much is the level of understanding and knowledge of you guys in artificial intelligence? Anybody? Tell me, please. How good are you or how bad are you in artificial? Zero. You know, as on today, I conduct sessions for class 8th standard students, 8th standard, young children at the United States. They are very good. So don't you feel we are too
So we
old to
just
learn
know the
artificial?
subject concepts.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
yes,
there's
sir.
no,
We just know the subject concepts. That's it.
no, there is no, you're not going to become a teacher or a professor to do all this. You have to practically implement it. Otherwise, what is the use of all this thing? These are all the technology which will rule the world. This one, AI, blockchain, robotics, IoT. Do you have IoT as a subject for you? Internet of Things.
Yes, sir. We had it earlier.
Okay. Practical or theoretical?
We did it as a mini project also.
Okay.
So we have a bit of practical knowledge.
Okay. Have you completed till this port and external port and transaction which I have written? This is just half the statement. We have just written the if statement. I need to close it with the else statement. So what I do, we start from here. Else, I shall write it after you say you're completed till here, till this else.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay. Else, what do I say? I say logger dot warning, and this warning is received invalid transaction. That's it. Now I need to define a function to handle the block. So maybe a few more things and we should be able to knock off this program. So what I shall do, I shall call this async define handle underscore transaction of this self and message and writer. Make this conditional. This will be executed when we receive the transaction that was broadcast by a peer. This will only be executed when you receive a transaction that was broadcast by the peer. So we say logger dot info. We will say, let's say received transaction. And now what we need to do, we definitely need to validate this transaction. So I say tx is message of payload. And now definitely I have to take care, what if this transaction, this validate transaction is true, for which I have, let's use a if statement. So I say if validate underscore transaction, that is of this tx, is true, I will add this transaction to a pool and propagate it to our peers. That is, and if it is not, what will happen? So I'll say if tx not in self dot blockchain in blockchain dot pending underscore transactions, make it conditional. We will say self dot blockchain dot pending underscore transactions dot append of this tx. Now I have to also take care of this 20 peers. If you remember the last time which we had taken, which we had added to this pool. So we will once again consider our 20 friends being added over here. So we say for peer in self dot connection underscore pool dot get underscore alive underscore peers, this 20 peers. We will say we will await the self dot send underscore message, and this message will consist of peer, and we shall also say create underscore transaction underscore message of this self dot server dot external underscore IP, and this self dot server dot external underscore port, and we get the transaction. Then I close my bracket, comma, and close the outer bracket. Now in order to close this if which we have taken, which we have created here, I shall say else. What I need to do, the logger has to issue a warning. So we say logger dot warning received invalid transaction. Now, after this, what is that we need to do? We need to even define a function to handle the block. We will do which after you finish up till here.
Yes, sir.
Done till here? Okay. Today, what we will do, we will wrap up in next about 5 minutes. We'll just do for 1.5 hours today because it's more or less. I've got some urgent meetings. I mean, that's why we will not do till 10 o'clock. We'll just wrap up at 9:30. From here till here, what we have done. From here, we will continue in the next session. But kindly tell me, since you are just 6, 7 of you, is it comfortable for you that we start on this Sunday with doing a practical problem so that you know how do you apply your knowledge? Or you want to continue with this? That is also fine for me. Please tell me.
No, sir, the problem will be great.
Okay, we will solve a problem. There are many problems which are done. We will take one of the problem. I'll share the data set with you on Sunday, and we will have it from say 12 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So let's do this. We will solve a practical problem. We will see how do we solve a practical, that is putting this Python to use, to practical usage where we have to do it. And definitely after that, I shall expect Saida and her team to join back once again. If not for this project, maybe for the next project. Is that fine, Saida?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so no way you should say that you don't know how do you put this into use, because even today morning when your HOD spoke to me, he was also surprised that how come you have told this. Definitely, I feel he must have got in touch with. Did he speak to you guys?
Not yet, sir.
But okay, he told me he will have a word with you people. He told not to drop you people out. I told not to drop me. You people have told to drop you out. So where is this question of not to drop you? But in any case, see, we had a meeting yesterday in the night, late in the night. We had those guys from Pune who had joined, guys from Oman, couple of guys from Dubai, and there was one candidate from the United States. Very spirited chap. He is also doing his engineering at United States. He volunteered to do it. He's studying at Texas in United States. He volunteered, he joined. He told definitely he'll do it. We had shared the work. Definitely he told he'll pitch in and he'll do quite a bit for this and give it back. See, please understand, never and never will you get back this time where you are you can say a student. After this, the world will kick you and make you run. I'm sorry for my words. World will be very harsh on you. And the next time that is after this few months of your college, if you want to learn anything, nobody will fund you. You will have to spend from your pocket. Nobody. Right now, at least your college is there to hold your hand and spend whatever money. You can ask anything from your college. But couple of months down the line, you will have to spend and you will have to pull out money and you will have to learn it yourself. Time is yours and money is yours. Then you will understand how hard it pinches. I have nothing to say. Does anybody have any doubts to ask me with regard to today's session? Anybody? Please do one thing, save this work till here. From here, we will continue in the next session. I too shall save this and keep so that we don't end up writing all this story once again. Or there's a spelling error over here of connection. Yeah, connection. Now it's fine. Small little typo errors here and there. Don't worry. So please save this work. We shall continue it from here. Anybody, any doubt with regard to what we did today? Fine. Thank you. We will meet up. We will not meet tomorrow. We will meet up on Sunday at 2 o'clock. I shall put the credentials on the canvas. Definitely, we shall meet up on Sunday at 12. And only those people who really want to see how a program is executed. How do you write a program and what is that you keep in your mind? I'll tell you the trick of the trade when we meet up on Sunday. Fine. Thank you. Good night. Have a wonderful sleep.